Welcome to our poster detailing the key points of our study into the effectiveness of electropalatography, or EPG, with students with co-occurring DLD, developmental language disorder. This study was carried out within the normal speech and language therapy provision in a specialist educational setting in the UK for children and young people aged 7 to 19 with severe language disorders, the majority of whom meet the criteria for DLD. The study involved 7 participants aged 1410 to 18/6 at the first point of testing. IDs 1 to 4 attended the college part of the provision and IDs 5 to 7 attended the school. All presented with a severe speech sound disorder and had previously received traditional forms of intervention prior to commencing EPG. All participants had received EPG intervention prior to the start of this study. At the beginning and end of each term, recordings were made for each participant of both their target and a control on which they received no intervention. Targets and controls were a list of words either in isolation or within sentences. The number of phonemes targeted varied depending on the participant's specific speech errors and progress on previous targets. The specific words included in the targeted word list were practiced within sessions, with controls chosen to be phonemes or words not worked on directly within sessions that were thought unlikely to be affected by the intervention. Recordings were made and played back using IC Speech Professional Edition software from Rose Medical. Recordings were carefully analysed by comparing attempts at the target or control phoneme with the pre-specified target patterns using the frame with the closest match. So, for example, here we have data from ID2, who was working on the S and Z phonemes with the target pattern here at the top right-hand corner. The left-hand side shows production pre-intervention, with the right-hand side showing the same phoneme and the same word after intervention.
So I'm going to talk you through the results. Here we have the group results. So this is all of the participants combined. This violin plot shows the controls in grey and the targets in black. So this is pre-intervention and this is post-intervention. So you can see that pre-intervention, the targets and the controls are very similar, and post-intervention, there seems to have been more progress on the targets than the controls. And indeed, a logistic regression analysis showed no significant difference at pre-intervention, no significant change with time in the controls, although this was nearing significance. But the interaction between time and type was highly significant, showing that the participants made significantly more progress on the targets over time than they did on their controls. The individual data are up here. So we've got the different students down the side here, and across the top, the 3 different terms. So we can see that ID 1 and 2 had intervention across 3 terms, ID 3 and 4 had intervention across 2 terms, and IDs 5, 6 and 7 only had 1 term of intervention. So here we've got the targets again in black and the controls in grey. And we're looking for an interaction between time and type. So in this one, for example, we can see there was a significant interaction where the target has improved more than the control. There's also a main effect of time in this case. This one above, though, ID3 in term 2, we can see that there was no significant interaction but a main effect of time. That's much more difficult to interpret because we've seen progress on both the target and the control. This could be because progress is generalized from the target to the control, but it could also be non-specific effects such as maturation or a practice effect. So we can see in term 1, none of the participants in their first term of intervention showed a significant interaction, but there was a main effect of time for 3 of the participants. As said before, that's difficult to interpret. In term 2, there was a main effect of time for 3 participants and a significant interaction for ID4. And in term 3, both of the participants who had a third term show a significant interaction where there's more progress on the targets than the controls.
Our conclusion is that EPG appeared to be effective for the participants in this study. When taken as a group, participants showed significantly greater progress on their targets than controls. Performance did vary between participants' targets and terms, but EPG appeared particularly effective when delivered for more sessions and with a focus on a single phoneme.